Hello again, everyone. It is your Black Knight. And here we are. We're in the Arena Workshop. Time for a tour of what could be some of the weirdest stuff I have. The most expensive stuff. Surely some of it is quite strange. So let's get on with it, shall we? Let's embrace the strangeness. And what did they even call this thing? The Scarab. Yeah, Future Shock Scarab going on here. I kind of went with sort of a default look with this. It's a just to have kind of thing. It's again, I don't know, is it a good thing to cruise around with? Something that's fun enough? I don't know. That'll be something we experiment with in the future. I don't know. We'll have to see. Not as weird is this Infernus. I forget how I got this Infernus, how I came about this Infernus, what inspired me to do just a light orange, like some kind of orange over gray. This is how I don't remember what the story was on this, but it's an Infernus. You know, I waited for him, and and he wasn't calling, and then I figured, fine, we'll just start with the video, and then there's Lester. It's like he just waits until you're moving or something. I don't know what the story is. It's just Lester. But, love this Infernus. Every Infernus, you gotta love it. You gotta love the Pokemon, the Pokeball tail lights and all that. It's just all good. And you got not going here for no reason, because there actually is a vehicle. Yes, there's my remote control car, the burrito van, with explosives, and theoretically other bodies and stuff, and some small human skull. I don't know what that means, but we're just gonna roll with that and just move on up the line here. What was this van called anyway? Oh, the Brutus. Yeah, it's a Future Shock Brutus done up in Mid-Valley Spartan colors. Great van for bomb ball. It works out really well for bomb ball. It has a nice big square front on it, just pushes things along. And if you want to drive it down the street, it launches stuff way out of the way. It's really great. Very, very fond of this sucker. It's a good thing to... I don't cruise around in these nearly enough. That's a thing I should do. The Sasquatch, the monster thing here, you'll notice I don't really put in like RAM or anything on this. Like I don't put a scoop or a RAM or the big fist or anything else on this, because if you drive over stuff in the Arena Wars mode, it just explodes. So that's entirely too useful. You want to be able to drive over stuff. And this was Future Shock, and it's Mid-Valley, and it's got the honkity horn exhaust there, however you want to call that. A lot of really interesting textures and stuff to this. Very, very nice. I don't know why aliens would want to build... Oh, there's a wall there. Why aliens would want to build a monster truck out of an old car, but if they did, that would be it, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's no question about it. Another fun vehicle. Then you got the Future Shock Dominator. With the big thing you can drop in people's way, or you leave it on there and it should protect you from bullets and things. I got very much into the whole Future Shock combined with Mid-Valley. Kind of makes for a very football car kind of look to it, doesn't it? Football. Look at those. You know, that looks like a mask. I think those are lasers. I could be wrong. Again, same kind of theme with the Future Shock Death Bike. It is a Death Bike, right? Yep. Really, if you're gonna do Arena Wars, this is all you really need. You can do just about everything with this. It's not even a jack of all trades. It's good at all trades. It's really quite nice, and it's very sharp and bladey if you want it to be. You don't have to have those, but it's useful. Now for this ZR380, the ZR380, I went with the, it is Rusty Jack's character. I thought, well, let's do a post-apocalyptic Rusty look. It's not a car I'm fond of, to be honest. I don't like the handling on it. It's got very loose handling. It slides all over the place. It goes quick, but trying to get it to go quick in the direction you want, that's a little tricky. And it's got this, it gives you actually a better look at what this is supposed to be doing. A lot going on there. You can make a lot of really ugly salads with that. That's just, yeah. I keep it because it is, but do I ever use it? No, not really. No. Someday there'll be a use. We'll figure that out. Cerberus. Cerberus is one of those that's in its own spot. No, there we go. The Apocalypse Cerberus insured. This one I have the bulldozer nose on. I don't know if it's as effective as the other ones. But this isn't our only Cerberus, so. It is beefy, though. Beefy blue. Now this is another thing called the last V8. Some of these do have names. We'll look up the names in a minute, because that probably doesn't come up at the top of them. That's interesting. Last V8, if it had aged out, if it had survived and aged out and continually been upgraded as opposed to being blown up periodically, there you go, last V8. This is a shock issy, but look, this has one of the more interesting names to it as well. We'll look that up. We're going to have a discussion. Now, we're all the way back around. Let's talk some of the names. Oop. Like the decoy, that's this one, of course. It's just a big decoy. Everybody comes after it, but, well, it's other effective things are doing it. The Brutus 300, hence Spartan themes here. You know, it's the 300. King Leonidas, that's the van over here, the truck over here. This is the Brutus 300. This is King Leonidas. I think that fits. The Spartan, that's the Mustang. Space Cowboy is because it's a space bike, and you're riding it like a horse. I'm the Space Cowboy. Bet you weren't ready for that. All business. It's just rusty, and it's got lots of weapons. The last V8. There you go. And Xephos, which as I recall is a short sword that was carried, and Future Shock Scarabs. I never really came up with one for that. This needs a name. I don't know what it's going to be. It may not get a name. And the Infernus. Let's go down a level. Boop. To level B1. You should start with the names and then walk around to the highlights. So the phalanx here, I think originally this was blue and white, or did it originally come this way as that is crew sprunk. Everything is crew sprunk and white. So that was during the sprunk versus E. Cola competition. This got redone. The boss is the most recent addition. We'll take a look at that. Pops Impala, we'll talk about Pops Impala in a little bit. Mater's cousin, there's a whole story there. The crewmate, yeah, we'll get to the crewmate. And that's the Scarabs. I never come up with a good name for a Scarab. I don't know why. Well, let's take a walk around. Let's start with the boss. Just built this one, and this is the first time I have built, what the heck is it, the Bruiser. And I find it has a really crappy turning radius, but otherwise is alright. It does some pretty cool stuff. It's beefy. I call it the boss because it's done in gold, so it's expensive yet gritty. I like it more than I thought I would, to be perfectly honest. Now, Pops Impala, as it implies, my grandfather had an Impala like this. I think it was a two-door like this. It was this color, and he was from my extreme youth. I mean, he had that. I remember when I was single digits of age, we were using it to pull out bushes to put in basically an addition on the house. The front had been hit at some point, so that this was a little bit bent up. But even the bent up chrome grill was strong enough to use as a tow hook. So it was a beefy car. I remember liking it. It was cool. I took this racing once and it won. So I mean, it's not shabby. I took it on duel, and I believe it was on duel, and it won the race. I don't think I've raced it since, so that it has an unblemished record. But it's one of those, family-inspired things. Miss you, Pop. And if we want to go over here to this is the Christmas Tempesta, and it's all done up for Christmas. Even there's something about the hood that makes me think of like the hat that like an elf would wear. I mean, it's a very elfy car. If I could name normal cars, I would call this elf, but we're gonna let it go. It's an angry elf. The angry elf. That's a name for it. The angry elf. Let's see. Speaking of Christmas, we got another Christmas. What do you call it? Comet Safari here. I think I got this just because I could get the delivery for it. I need a Christmas car, and there you have it. It's Christmassy. It's not overly done up with a lot of accessories because you don't want to take away from the Christmas. It's all very Christmassy. Sprunk Karen Everon. This gets regular usage if races exist. I have not. Racing's been a problem, gang. Nobody's doing it anymore. Or this is my new theory: is that my rank has gotten so high that people are turning on matchmaking, like make sure that, however they call it, or level matching is on, and I just don't get matched anymore because no one wants to deal with me. So I don't know. Maybe racing is a limited time thing for people? That is a problem. We've talked about this, the phalanx. I do kind of prefer this because I think with the cow catcher on the front like this, I think it knocks cars out of the way better. Throws green flame. It's a very green truck. I'm down with the greenness of this truck. And there's some weird glitch that when you get on this side of it, the lighting goes crazy. And that's only happening recently. And now it looks like the whole thing is glowing. Like this side of the truck is completely radioactive. And then you get around a certain point, it goes away, and then you move in. There's something weird with the ray tracing on this, and I don't know what it is. If it was an update to my graphics card or what. But yeah, there's some weirdness going on there. Mater's cousin. I have had this completely kitted out. I discovered that if you don't put bulletproof tires on it before you upgrade it, you have to sell it and then get a new one, and then put the bulletproof tires on it before you upgrade. Otherwise, you cannot add bulletproof tires to it. And eventually, it was so bad at doing all arena war things. I thought, I put a lot of money in. It's like a lot. Why not just make it simple? Make it like, the Stubby, what the heck was it called? The Stubby Joe? I forget what the name of it's a roadkill inspired vehicle, but I just figured let's leave it plain Jane, Mater's cousin. How y'all doing? That's what this is. And it can be fun to wheelie around. There's some videos out there of it. Fun times. Fun times! Yeah, there we are. Similarly painted Hustler over here, just a rusty Hustler. Just as fast as all the other Hustlers. It's good as far as racing's concerned, in its class, in its genre. If it'll do well enough. It's not necessarily gonna clean the field out, but in straight line, it does pretty darn good. And again, because the character is Rusty Jack, I feel the obligation to have some rusty cars, and this one is rusty. Still, it looks like it's intentional patina. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. The Crewmate. The reason this is called the Crewmate is it's because it's done completely in Crew Blue. And yes, this is a Future Shock. Is it an Impaler? I think it is. Imperator, rather. Yeah, Future Shock Imperator. Not the Impaler is that blue one down there, the Impala. And but it's just very blue. What's very interesting about this is if you take this into a team sport, it will stay this color. The crew colors don't get repainted orange or orange or purple. So if you had your entire crew in this, then you would go in your own crew colors. And so you had everybody was on the same side, then you'd still know who it was. If you're going in by yourself in crew colors, it just becomes confusion for everybody, and that can work for you or against you. And all that's left now is this super psychotic, no, at least on this floor, super psychotic scarab. Again, I never really had a plan for it. Scarabs, they don't necessarily, like, I know you can get people to ride in there. I don't necessarily have a plan for any of these or a use for them. I do appreciate them and like them to some extent, but also not super emotionally attached. Yeah. And let's head to B2. Booga 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 booga. Is there anything named on this floor? Maybe not. That one needs a name. Pizza before bed. That's what I called it? I called it pizza before bed? That makes sense. I was just thinking of renaming it the Afterthought since I just threw this on at the end of another video. But we'll take it. And that's the only named vehicle here. At least the only one that will accept a name. So pizza before bed. Yeah, it has kind of the options. Is that like an Eagles thing? Like a Philadelphia Eagles kind of. It's supposed to be cobbled together from like road signs and stuff like that and advertisements. It's tough. It's a big, beefy, tough thing. I don't know, again, that this will knock things out of the way as well as a cowcatcher would. But it'll do something. Definitely it is pizza before bed. And then we got the Hot Ring Hellfire. There you go. I couldn't remember if it was a Hot Ring, this, that, and the other thing. Good car. This is a kind of, I think that the look that it had when I got it. I forget how I even got it. There was a story. What we call this, left this as a burger shot. I have thoughts about changing this up. Maybe someday going full stroker ace with it with a chicken build, but for right now we'll just leave it as the burger shot with the kind of off-putting colors. It all kind of works in a way that doesn't. Racing wise, I've been doing the trucks more than these. They have their spot, a tighter track with the ability to hit the brakes and then the flaps air flaps come up and that gives you more downforce where the physics makes no sense. Yet there's a spot for it. One of the new, this is the Mustang GT, the Dominator GT. Drop top. I think it's a drop top. You can see the Mustang engine there, the Vapid Dominator Ford Mustang. You call it what you will. This was, again, past the point where they were pretending that it was their own car. And this is definitely, we know what this is. Runs very well, very competitive. I think it might oust the Buffalo STX. I'm not sure. It's very good. One to have. Not sure it's an emotional choice for me, though. I like the new Mustangs, but I don't necessarily love the new Mustangs. You know what I mean? Now this is the whole George Fulmer, I think I'm saying the name right, Trans Am Mustang, back in the days when they would race these in the Trans Am series. I guess that's where the term Trans Am came from, before they even had Trans Ams in them. They may have by this point. There may have been some Trans Ams in there. Not the ones like Smokey and the Bandit, but there were some Trans Ams, I think. I'll have to look up the history of Trans Am. This is very much like the same color pattern as the George Fulmer one, I think, that he raced. Don't know if it was the right number. I think he raced a 70, though, when he won the championship. I don't know who won the championship. look that up. Well, lovely car to drive, the GTT. It's one of my faves. Gotta love this. Not just because my dad had a 69 Mach 1, but I mean, this is definitely a part of it. My psychology has definitely been affected. Beautiful car, though. You have to admit, no matter what, it's a beautiful car. Another Dominator ASP. This comes with its own lizard skin special limited edition. I think this is like if I sell the car, I can't transfer it to anything else. Everything here is very, very, very limited. Beautiful car. I gave it the kind of fang teeth there things on the lower lip there because it goes with this the snake skin look to it. It's very nice. It's very nice. Again, another car I'm very fond of. Vito Modern. So I have both of these. So I could, you know, if a go-kart thing comes up, I have my choice. Either way, I can go around the track however it works. Yay. And now we get into some historic stuff here. This is the Bodie. It's done up a little bit wilder. It's got some purple and orange mixed in there. A bunch of different things. And no, it's not exactly like the one that Trevor would have driven. You can't really get that pink, so I decided to go, you know, that reddish worn. It doesn't really, it's hard to find that. At least I have struggled getting it to look right, even with putting red on the rust and this and that. There may be a way of doing it, but for right now, I just thought this will work out well. It's kind of orange and purple make pink. It's an interesting kind of effect that goes on there. And in a similar fashion, you got Michael's tailgater. This is not an S, it's just a regular old tailgater, which is, I think both of those are removed. There's a lot of removedness here. I think on my other character, they're more representative of what came before, but yeah, the original single player game. These are here. Hakachu Drag, which I believe this was painted up for St. Patty's Day the last time I did something with it. It may get repainted for Christmas. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not. I don't know. But there you go. Hakachu Drag. The best of everything if you get HSW. I don't have HSW yet, but still extremely competitive a motorcycle even without HSW. Osiris. Did this one in warm orangey browns. Again, sometimes I return to the whole concept of, you know, Rusty Jack and the rust that goes along with it. A very nice car. I mean, it's an old school car. It's not an OG car. But it's old enough that, you know, it's from enough DLCs back that I would consider it an old school car. And, you know, this was the fastest car in the world for like a week and a half till they released the T20. But it's still good. It still could be competitive. Still good on stunt tracks. It's still a good car. Competitive, yes. Dominate anything, win anything necessarily. If you got equal strength, no, it's not that fast. But it looks good. And it's got that whole Pagasi feel to it, I think. I don't know. We'll have to look that up. Now we're back around to the pizza before bed deal here, folks. You're going to numb you up. Num, num, num. Num, num, num. I just realized that no matter what I do, I'm always off center. This is how that works. Not stuff to do with the gun aiming. But at any rate, folks, this has been your tour of my Arena War workshop here. Hope you found it entertaining. I hope it wasn't too long a video. It's a pretty quick video. You'd think with all these cars there'd be a lot more to talk about, but you know, a lot of them just kind of are, you know. And this one I just threw together at the end of my Bruiser video from the floor before. So there you have it. Lots of weirdness, not lots of words. And on that note, folks, this is your Black Knight. Have a great night. Yeah, you see, it's a little bit, this is a little more traditional. This is how it kind of ended up in my single player game. But I couldn't get a paint job I was happy with, so I went chrome over crew with this one and put a lot of carbon on it. Still like the way it turned out. And this is my only spot without a Cerberus. Or this is. This is my only Cerberus free point. I could get another Cerberus. Why? I don't know. You know... Got 234.7 million. I could do it. But for what? I mean, I've got two. I think I got two others. Let me look. And something happened in the last clip. I'm not really sure what happened there to the voiceover and the thing. And I was talking about I was gonna do this whole Lemonade Man thing with like yellow cars and just cause havoc, and this was what the Lemonade train was part of. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff. I think you've seen enough. That might be a story for another day, or maybe it's a story I've already told. But once again, on that note, folks, this is your Black Knight. Have a great night.